Mantan Menteri Pertahanan Inggris, Lord George Robertson, mengkritik rencana investasi pertahanan pemerintah yang dinilai terlalu lambat dan belum cukup untuk menghadapi perubahan ancaman keamanan global. Dalam sesi tinjauan pertahanan di London, Robertson memperingatkan keterlambatan peningkatan anggaran militer dapat membuat Inggris lebih rentan, sekaligus menimbulkan kekhawatiran di antara sekutu NATO. Menurutnya, sejumlah negara besar seperti Jerman dan Polandia telah bergerak lebih cepat dalam meningkatkan belanja pertahanan, sementara Inggris dinilai belum menunjukkan peran kepemimpinan yang selama ini diklaim dalam aliansi NATO. Pemerintah Inggris sebelumnya meluncurkan Defense Investment Plan dengan anggaran sekitar 790 juta pound sterling untuk sistem pertahanan udara dan rudal terintegrasi, serta investasi pada sektor luar angkasa, siber, dan kemampuan militer lainnya. Robertson juga memperingatkan perkembangan teknologi rudal membuat ancaman keamanan semakin luas. Ia menyoroti kemampuan rudal jarak jauh yang dapat menjangkau wilayah yang sebelumnya dianggap aman. Peringatan serupa disampaikan mantan Komandan Angkatan Darat Inggris, Richard Barons, yang menyebut potensi konflik besar dengan Rusia terhadap NATO dapat terjadi pada 2030 atau bahkan lebih cepat. Pemerintah Rusia sendiri berulang kali membantah tuduhan bahwa Moskow berencana menyerang NATO dan menyebut peningkatan militer aliansi Barat sebagai tindakan provokatif.
Russia's aggression against NATO by 2030 has been suggested, then what integrated air and missile defence systems must we be developing in these 4 years to be ready? Is £790 million good enough? I suggest not, but maybe has been your thoughts.
So the first important point you raised there is the UK doesn't own the clock now on when we need to be. It's set by, I think, Russia and likely on the back of an outcome in Ukraine, which is why people talk credibly about 2030 or even sooner. Reserve Forces and Cadets Association. Most of that is not in the DIP because it just couldn't get.
I believe the government are going to produce some resilience plan next.
We will be coming back onto this, Lord Robertson, later on
next week. But the fact is that technology in missiles has now changed, so that Iran, using an old, an out-of-date Russian system, tried to fire a ballistic missile at Diego Garcia. 2,000 kilometres away. So we are now within range in a way that we weren't before. But as Richard has said, this is a huge iceberg that was way beyond our capability and the terms of reference that we had. But it's a problem that the nation will have to face in the future.
Just a quick one. Lord Robertson, you spoke just before about how the UK provides.
Of course, other countries would then want to have a say, and NATO bureaucracy would want to have a say over our independent nuclear deterrent. And up to now, we have said that it has to be under the control of the Prime Minister, even in a situation where we were committed to defending NATO as well. But it is an area that should be looked at, because I think it is too often ignored and forgotten about by other nations that we do that. The French force de frappe is very much national, under national control and committed to nobody else. And although President Macron in his last year has been making vague talks about making it a European deterrent, he hasn't in any way specified how that might be done. Ours is committed to NATO as a whole. But I think it might well be that some arrangement might have to be made in order to make sure that the costs that we are bearing at the moment, in the event that America might not be seen as being ultimately reliable, would be the nuclear umbrella for Europe.
Politics of the threat and resourcing defense.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download MetroTV Extend sekarang.